Real news. Honest and fun political talk weekly on the line 90.7 FM. How are you doing today, Mr. Alex?
Not too great. These jerks who decide to go and install the the drying machine, the dryer. They came over and they're supposed to fix this job because they messed up the first place. And I was looking back now, and I noticed that my fence was broken. I think they did it because they tried to put like a semi truck into my house.
What?
Yeah, so there's like half my fence is like down.
What? Did they is your fence like by your driveway or something?
Yeah. It's like preventing you from falling, into your death, basically.
What house did you move? What neighborhood did you move to where there's like these
neighborhood? I'm like on a mountain.
Pits? Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, that was so they come over here. They don't even do anything. They're like, oh yeah, we can't fix it. I was like, well, I yelled at them, and at least they took off the nut that I need to go and have taken off. So that was the one decent thing they did. So now I was able to go and put the power cords in myself. And then there was an issue with they didn't even do the HVAC stuff. And I was like, yeah, we were supposed to do this. Like, oh, we can't because the other one's the same size as the one that we have. I was like, that should be easy. You should have a coupling over there. So now I had to go out of my way to go to Home Depot and buy a coupling and some duct tape and do the job they were supposed to do. But yeah.
What company was
they were
this?
Complete jerks.
What company was this?
What'd you say?
I said, what company was this?
This was Best Buy.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard any horror stories, but that's pretty bad.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust Best Buy. They the Geek Squad tried to go and fix my grandparents' computer, and they charged them $200, and they didn't really fix it much.
Right.
Because I had to go and fix it myself, and they convinced them to buy this antivirus software.
Mm-hmm.
That was crappy, and it cost them I think $200.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's not so great. I hope they go the way of Sears.
I don't know if they will because they still have electronics and all that stuff. But you know what? With Amazon and all these other online retailers, they could. But I don't know. They might become online only maybe one day.
Well, I don't know why they sell appliances because these people don't know the first thing about appliances. I should have went with Home Depot for the dryer.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to the guys they did this stuff over here, but I'm not going to go and pay to have someone else do it. All I have to go and do is set up the HVAC stuff, and it's already pretty much done. I just have to connect the thing to the dryer and then the thing with the other thing. So it's pretty easy, the duct work.
Wow. Moving's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got its perks and its disadvantages. The moving is not fun. Being in a house is. Being a homeowner is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be there someday.
You could always live in a condo.
Well, that's the thing is if I considering where I might have to go work, I might have to work I'm probably going to be working in a city, so I'd either have to live outside of one or live in one. And ideally, I want to live outside the city, but when you're young and don't have a lot of money, you can't do that right away. You got to work your way up to get a house.
It's easier to live outside the city. It's cheaper.
Well, yeah, but let's say if I had to work in New York City. I mean,
oh yeah, New York. Yeah, I wouldn't work in New York.
Exactly.
I'd be yeah, no.
Of course, one of the internships I filed was for New York City, and I went for DC. But I'm not. That's the one thing I will not look forward to with an advertising job is that you're gonna have to work for an ad agency probably. Or I mean, a lot of the ad agencies aren't as big of a thing anymore. Like in the Mad Men days of the '60s, where they'd be massive buildings and every big client would go to them. Now it's they all do it in-house, which I understand. That's how the market works. So either way, I'm probably going to be working near in the city.
Well, most people end up working near a city at least.
Yeah.
You could always come. You guys come to one of the smaller cities. You don't have to necessarily work over there. There's other ones like Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
You could work in Philly probably.
Oh God, I don't want to get shot.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's other cities too, probably something in Michigan or I don't know.
Actually, that's the place I would love to move to is Michigan. I've been there multiple times to see my grandparents, and they've cleaned it up a bit, and the people are very nice. and the state is
Stay out of Dearborn.
oh, yeah, Dearborn. Woo! Especially, they wouldn't like me very much. We'll leave it at that. But, Dearborn is not a pretty place. Detroit's getting a little nicer, but it's still Detroit. But other than that, like, Michigan's a beautiful state. Like, it really is. And the people are so nice.
Yeah, I must have an internship with like Ford, and yeah, I would not have looked forward to working in Detroit. Yeah, they have like it's like an ANCAP paradise there because I think their fire department's all like not taxpayer funded.
I think you're right on that. I forget. I remember my mom said something about that. It's really
Well, that's
weird.
because the city went bankrupt.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. The city's just disgrace, but it actually doesn't look worse than Philly. Philly looks far worse than Detroit.
Well, you know what? I have to go and like actually visit Philly again because I think I've been near Philly and I went to Philly like once on a school trip. I've never really looked at the city itself.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have my license to carry, so I'll definitely make sure I have that with me.
Absolutely. So, we'll go into more personal shenanigans later because I have a little story to tell you. But we'll cover some topics for the break and go off topic in between as we always do. But I wanted to start off with the story that broke last night, which is former President George H.W. Bush has passed away. He died yesterday at the age of 94. I have no personal opinions about him, to be honest, because I don't know a lot about his presidency. I think he was definitely better than his son, because he didn't get us.
He only got one term. He's a loser.
We'll have Trump tweet that out. He's only a one-term president. Sad.
He's a globalist shill. He's been to Bohemian Grove. I don't really have. I mean, to be fair, I think every Republican president in like the 20th century, and except for Trump, to my knowledge, has been to Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, there's that famous picture where it's Nixon, Reagan, Henry Kissinger, and a bunch of other big Republicans at Bohemian, and Jimmy Carter, big Democrat, at Bohemian Grove, all together at one table. George H.W. Bush did go to Bohemian Grove. His son did too. Yeah, the only Republican in modern times that hasn't has been Trump. I don't know if Obama, in terms of Democrats, has been there, but he may have. I don't know.
Well, I know Bill Clinton did not go there, to my knowledge.
Really?
Yeah, and that was, I think that was one of the first ones, because even the Democrats, a lot of them show up there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's not a Republican or Democrat thing. It's a globalist, elitist establishment gathering of the.
It's like the Bilderberg Group, pretty much, but weirder.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But my dad actually, he when he was younger, designed T-shirts and mugs and logos for the Young Republicans, and his T-shirt came somewhat semi famous within the GOP, and he got a chance to meet Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush in the Oval Office, and took a picture with them holding his shirt. So that's kind of cool. But my dad said that H.W. seemed like a nice guy. I know everybody kind of called him a wimp. That was kind of like the thing Democrats always called him. But he said it didn't seem wimpy to him. But you never know.
Yeah, he seemed like a cuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't alive for his presidencies, so I can't really say much, but he was the part of the problem. There's been no real Republican president until Trump since Reagan.
I agree. And Trump is very un-Republican in many ways, and that's why I love him. For instance, with doing tariffs, for trying to bring back jobs, for no more wars, for just economic populism in general. It's totally against what the Republicans have been, for ages. But that's all I have to say.
He's definitely he's not your average Republican.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. HW, I just don't really care too much for him. He was what led to Bill Clinton, so pretty bad guy in my view, and he was starting problems with Trump.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I absolutely did not like that.
Like the whole Bush family is a political dynasty. I'm against dynasties.
Yeah.
Maybe Dynasty Warrior. That's all right, but everything else, not a big fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the Bushes. I don't like the Clintons. I mean, those are like the two big dynasties, really. I mean, other than maybe kind of the Kennedys. But yeah,
Well, yeah, they still are. They're probably the biggest one.
yeah. Oh, them, it's so annoying because it's like just because you have a Kennedy last name, like you automatically get these like special, high up positions. I'm like, that's not fair or smart in any way.
Yeah, and you get to murder people and mistresses and not get in trouble.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll move on to our second topic, which is the good old Caravan. That this kind of happened like right around over the break, so I wanted to bring it up because everybody's talking about it, and CNN is still like freaking out over it. So I'm gonna get the facts straight here because people have been lying about this. There's been a lot of fake news. So I'm gonna set this straight, set it properly, so everybody knows what really happened. No spin, no nothing. This is just exactly what happened to the facts.
But you don't know exactly what happened unless you've been there.
Of course. But I'm taking the word actually from a Border Patrol supervisor that supervised that area. He did this interview on CNN, and he just like, BTFO'd them with all just destroying their narrative just by literally just saying what he saw and what he did. Like, it's pretty interesting. But what basically happened was that there was this migrant caravan of a bunch of I'm just going to say illegal immigrants because that's the only proper term I can really align to them.
Migrants.
Yeah, you could say migrants too. And they were coming up and they got to our border, a whole group of them. So the Border Patrol geared up in riot gear with their shields and held some of them back, but they were overwhelmed because there were so many of them and they didn't have enough men, enough, physical barriers like a wall, hint, or anything to stop them. So they had to deploy tear gas. And of course, the notification that I got from CNN was Trump administration deploys tear gas on women and children. Oh my God, this must be the worst thing in the world, right?
No, they do that at Penn State. They deploy tear gas when people get too rowdy, and they bring the horses out.
Exactly. Tear gas, for anybody that doesn't know, is literally the most common and least harmful crowd dispersing method there is. And that's why they use it. And it worked here. Now, what does the Caravan do? Where all these women and children are getting supposedly tear gas. According to a Border Patrol supervisor that was on CNN and many other sources, what the Caravan does is that it's mostly men, young men, a group of mostly young men that put women and children at the front of the Caravan. So they act almost like a human shield. They kind of make them look, not as harmful. It makes them look way, more harmless. And that's a tactic they use. This isn't, controversial. This isn't conspiracy or InfoWars, anything. It's literally what they do, and Border Patrol says that. Now, so they're doing this and deploying all this tear gas, but there's this outrage now. Oh my God, Trump's a monster. Well, let's wind the clocks back 8 years. The Obama administration did the exact same thing at the exact same spot every month during his administration, and that's a fact. I think I counted up to like 80 times. The Border Patrol used tear gas on the border in this spot. It's unbelievable, but nobody talked about it then. It wasn't a problem then until Orange Man Bad does it, and then it's a problem. And I have my criticisms of Trump, not many, because I like him a lot. I have my criticism of Obama because I didn't like him, but there's still a double standard here by the media, and I gotta call him out for that, and that's what we try to do here. And it's not fair to Trump or anyone to do this. But it gets better, because this is the funny part, was that MSNBC had a reporter on the ground, I know, shockingly, they do on-the-ground reporting still, who was literally reporting on the Caravan. He goes, oh, these are mostly young men, none of them are asylum seekers, and they're all like shocked, like you just see their mouths like open. The MSNBC like host like, what What's he saying? They're all trying to like correct him. They're like, but there are women and children there, right? And he goes, nah, they're mostly young men. I'm like, this guy's gonna lose his job. Yeah, and that's true that none of them are asylum seekers. Because as the Border Patrol agent says, if they were asylum seekers, they would go up to Border Patrol, arms up, and say, hey, I'm seeking asylum. And then they go, okay. And they bring them to an immigration facility and put them in the back of the line. But they don't want to do that. So they cut their line, try to get in illegally, and storm the border. And then they get tear gas, and then they complain about it. Well, that's what happens when you do this. But according to Jim Acosta, this is not an invasion. Not an invasion, even though they were literally storming the border. Trump was proven right again, and now more than ever do we need a wall. I don't know what's wrong with Republicans. They couldn't build a wall in 2 years. Now we have Democrats control the House, so a wall is definitely not going to get built. I mean, this is why people should have come out to vote in midterms, but they didn't. Well, the only positive thing about that is that now Trump can still run on this in 2020, saying, "Hey guys, we really do need to build that wall."
Well, see, do you see the other thing was kind of revolving around the wall where the woman got impaled when she tried to climb it up?
I saw that, yeah.
What an idiot. She has kids. What are you doing?
Well, that's the thing.
You really don't care about your kids' well-being enough that because I don't think the father was there.
Well, that was what was happening even with the women and children that were in the caravan. Women would give their children off to other people so that it would act as a human shield. Because there are multiple pictures where they show the kids are holding hands. The same kid is holding hands with different people. And,
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of pedophilia going on in these migrant caravans, because you already know there's an 80% chance that if you're a woman or a kid, you're going to be raped.
Yeah.
Going illegally entering the United States. So there's probably a lot of disgusting individuals who frequent these areas, knowing they can get easy access to kids.
Yeah, and it's why does the media not ever bring this up? They all bring up other crap. And, they act like all these illegal immigrants are all people, they're just seeking a better life. Well, do we really want to bring people into this country that are not showing value for the life of their children? I'm not saying they're all like that, but a substantial portion are.
Well, no, of course they do. The Democrats don't value children. That's why they're very pro-abortion up until the point that the kid's born, and sometimes even after that. I've been hearing stuff, in Europe in the far left corners where they're talking about giving kids the ability to be euthanized if they have a cancer or something.
Oh, wow.
I've heard that, I think it was Sweden, they're trying to legalize euthanasia, allow kids to be, opt in for euthanasia if they have cancer, then it's high. They don't value human life.
Yeah.
And they're already doing this for regular adults. They allow people to go and get themselves euthanized. Yeah. It's an extension of the abortion debate.
Jesus. Yeah. They're doubling down and going further, saying no, we should kill them even more. I mean, Jesus. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not gonna lie, I never really had a stance on abortion until about a few months ago. And I realized that, first I thought, well, most of the country is pro-abortion, so maybe it's all right, I don't know. And then I looked at it some more and I thought, well, maybe it's okay if the kid's going to have some sort of life-threatening disease or something's going to be really wrong with them, like Down syndrome or something. But then I realized that's the whole root of the problem here, is that you're basically saying, I know what's best for this child. I can determine if it's going to live or not. This child doesn't have a choice. But then the left's going to say, oh, it's just a clump of cells. Wow. Let's talk about that clump of cells. Okay.
Well, no, but it's not even just that. Then it extends, the left and other things what if the woman was raped?
Yeah.
And they always use that, even though that's less than 1% of abortions are from rape.
Yes, and that's something I learned too. I heard Crowder say that, and I was like, what? Is that? Or no, it was Gavin McInnes said that. I was like, what? He called them freak examples. I look it up, and it's literally is. Rape, incest, and mother's life are all less than 1%. These are freak exceptions to the rule. But the majority of abortions are done after I think the first or second trimester, I forget. I think it's after first. And to me, the first 12 weeks, I can see both sides of this issue. But after 12 weeks, this baby it's a baby. It has a heart that you can hear beating. To me, that is the equivalent of life right there. If it has a heart that you can hear beating, that is the definition of life. So, I mean, I think that's common ground, but no, I can't get people to agree on that. But the country is going more pro-life, which is fascinating because there's this Gallup poll that's been done for the past like 50 years on, do you support or not support abortion? And it used to be very wide, like 60, 70% of the country support abortion. Now it's come to like 50-50. Like it's a dead heat. And I think it's going to be one of those things that we're going to look back on and say, I can't believe we did that. Like, wow, that's screwed up.
Well, yeah, people back then too, they used to believe in, what you call it, like with the, like castration.
Yeah.
Like castrating people. I forget the term for that, but the Nazis did it.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking of. I forget the term too.
Yeah, I guess people back then, back then people just didn't value life because you died all the time.
Yeah.
Like Dark Souls IRL, you get caught up, you're dead.
I was gonna say it's kind of like Game of Thrones IRL, where it's like, oh, off of his head, oh, we threw a bunch
you stub your toe up, you got infection, you're dead, or you lost your leg, and then they cut off the leg, and then you're dying anyways. It's like, oh dang it.
Yeah, like there's one part in Game of Thrones where like a guy like was in battle and his leg's all screwed up, and the nurse is like, you gotta amputate, and he's like, no, don't touch it. And I'm like, I would feel the exact same way because they literally take a saw and saw it off, and they have no numbing. Nothing. You feel every bit of pain. I mean, that's gotta be
but then it'll be
awful.
infected, so it's like you kind of have to go and trim the tree to make it live.
Yeah, you do, but it's just awful. I would have hated living back then. Oh, God.
That was before they invented like heroin or like opiates in general.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was before they could even numb it up. Because now, of course, they just numb you up and you don't feel a thing, or they put you out and they chop it off. But Jesus, it's just so barbaric back then. My God.
Think about that, like because the fact that we have these numbing agents, like now people get surgery because they want to. Back then, you won't get surgery unless like you physically had to. And even then, you probably won't get it. Now you have people like getting nose jobs and gender changes and all this other stuff that would never be thought of until like the like 50s.
Absolutely, yeah, and that is what's amazing about our society and fascinating, and also then goes into some weird corners, as you allude to there at the same time. You eating that? Eating
just
that?
Munching
chip?
on some nummies.
Oh yeah, I just had burger fry. I had some diabetes in a bun, I should say. So I got the.
Oh God, dude! I just had this like ham or not ham? It was some pork product, and it was cooked. I had some vegetables. It was like ribeye of the pork.
Yeah.
Not a name, but I just remember buying it at Walmart. My girlfriend does a very good job cooking it.
Good.
Then she got some fries, like bake them, homemade fries.
Man, this is the reason I'm gonna have to find a girl, because when I'm out of college alone, I don't like cooking, and I'm, for lack of a better word, atypical in the kitchen. So
well, why don't you just go and like live off campus?
I knew you were gonna say that.
You can learn how to cook there.
No, I know how to cook. Like, it's not hard.
Well, yeah, but you don't just like gain like skills. It's not like RuneScape where you can just like cook a pie once and then you get like level 2. You have to actually like learn how to buy. It's not even just that too. It's like buying the food.
Yeah.
Then like figuring out the recipes. It's all that like fun stuff and having the equipment to make it.
I'm gonna have a lot of pasta. I could just see it. Or see option 2, which is you get the whammon to do it.
Yeah, you could always do that, but that's there's a song, I forget what it went. I forget the name of it. It was like some dude. It's like, hey, you got the coal mine, I got the shaft. And it was about this dude who got married because he wanted someone to cook for him. They got divorced, and yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty. It was like an older country song. It was pretty good though. It was a tale of not to marry people just so you can have someone cook for you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously, well, see, you know me. I have such high standards, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, like, find someone who can cook, someone who can clean, someone who's not going to cheat on you, someone, who you can talk to about important things, and you'll be set.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that was actually related to my story of today, which was I always like telling you my stories because I can't believe actually I'm saying this on air. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Usually I leave personal stuff off air, but you and Mr. Mikey always tend to bring it up on air for whatever reason and get a good laugh out of it, which I enjoy. But you'll probably get a laugh out of this one, maybe. I don't know. It's not terribly funny. But I was working on my group project today with my group, and it's me and 2 girls because my major is literally all girls. I'm not complaining.
See, that could be the benefit.
You see, I know what I'm doing here. I'm not crazy with the ad major.
Yeah, it's like the only reason. I remember seeing this movie. That some guy went to cheerleader camp just so he could see girls, and it didn't work out too well, I don't think.
Well,
I think Owen Wilson was it. It seems like a movie that Owen Wilson would be in.
Yeah, it does. Well, so I was working with my group, and the one girl in the group, I couldn't tell what she thought about me in class, but she was first to arrive, and all she did was just talk to me about literally everything. She's like, "Oh my God, I got this. Look, check out my new headphones, Sean. Aren't they cool?" And she just kept talking to me and always asking me, always laughing at my jokes, even if they weren't jokes or they were bad. I think she likes me, but I don't know why, and I'm not interested. I guess.
Oh.
So what are your thoughts?
All right, so what happened? It kind of cut off for a second.
Oh, did you not hear the whole story? I gotta tell it again and torture myself.
No, just like the last part. Just the last part.
Oh, I said, I don't know why she likes me. I know she likes me, but I'm not interested.
You just go for it. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't feel natural. We don't gel well.
You seem like you did, Pearl. Like, just go and see what you can see, and then report back. You have to go and explore.
What? I have to go explore? What is this, a dungeon?
It's your college experience. You gotta go and at least take one girl out.
I know, but I'm bad at this, and I like.
Well, yeah. How do you get better? You have to go and sharpen the knife. This is like sharpening the knife.
Good.
Russ is just gonna be like dull.
Good symbolism. I believe in that fully, but because I'll tell you an interesting story about that. But
what did Sam from Atypical say? You have to have a practice girlfriend.
That's kind of true. But the thing is, it's like, I was telling this to Mikey yesterday. I think it's the best way I can put it. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'll get some a confidence booster. And I'm like, all right, I'll message this girl. I'll talk to this girl. I'll do something. And I do it. And after I do it, I instantly regret it. And I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want this. I don't like this person. Why am I doing this? It's really weird.
Well, you're never gonna know until you try. You kind of have to go and get it done.
Get her done. Get her done.
Get her done. Wasn't he going? I think he was going on tour with the cable guy was going on tour with some weird the Sticks.
Yeah, he was. Aiden shared that on Facebook.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't care for the cable guy, but I think it's funny. But anyway, what Scott Adams told a story about, he has this concept called systems versus goals. He says the goals are a bad thing because you set yourself up for failure because you're giving your one way to fail, and it really doesn't increase your odds and how does he put it? Give you really increase your skill set. So what he proposes is a system where you basically, it's a little hard to explain, but when you give examples, it makes sense. And I'll give some examples that are interesting. But basically, you try a bunch of things, build a bunch of, almost make something a habit to increase your odds and slowly start achieving things. So, for instance, he said that one guy he knew would, instead of trying to apply for one job, instead of doing one job that you'd stress out about, you would be nervous for the interview, you've never done this before, but this is your one job, the job you really need. Instead of doing that, he would apply to multiple jobs he didn't even want. And he would show up, do the interview, start getting a feel for the whole thing. And he actually got lucky at one point that one person they interviewed him said, "You're way overqualified. You should be in the management position." And they put him in a big position. So the moral of that story is that you got to try, basically practice makes perfect. Try a bunch of things so that when you really need the skill at its finest, you'll be way more prepared and your odds will be higher. This same guy also, with women, would be the biggest Chad and go into every room trying to get every girl. And he would deliberately do stuff that would boost his confidence, make him more popular, and see what jokes worked and see what pickup lines worked on any girl. If he wanted to date him or not, he would keep doing it. And that's something I've kind of done accidentally in some ways, but in other words, you get experience from things. I think that's a good thing to do.
Yes, you just take her on a date. Going on a single date does not entitle them to anything from you.
Right. I learned that the hard way.
Well, so, I mean, you've done it once before, do it again and again and again. Go on 5,000 dates.
Exactly.
Then you will be the dating guru. You don't have to go on a second date, just a first date.
Exactly.
That's the most awkward one. That's the one where you get the most experience.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what this guy that Scott's talking about basically do. Is go on crazy amount of dates. I mean, I could try to do that, but me, I gotta get pushed into it.
Yeah, you gotta give it a shot. Yeah, you have to go and start getting that confidence. Because going on dates will make you confident. It's like people like you. People want you. They want in your pants. They want in your heart. And they want in everything.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Like, dude, it's great. Like, you go on multiple dates, and then it's like a job interview basically, and then you can either accept or decline after that.
Yeah.
You'd be like, okay, I see your resume over here. It's not so great. Someone should make a dating app like that.
What, with resumes?
Pretty much like a sexual marketplace resume. Be like the like the LinkedIn of the dating world.
Sexed in.
Yeah, like pretty much, because you just gonna write a resume on the things you like, and I mean that's kind of what they already do, but like
I was gonna say.
But you go into more
edges.
Specific details. You're like, oh, I like this. Oh, I don't know if I like this. Now to formalize that more, have people. I mean, yeah, they actually do. Except they do have speed dating. You ought to try that. That sounds like something you might like.
What's speed dating?
Well, actually, I had like this interview process that they basically said was speed dating, but for interviews. So I guess it would be the same sort of concept. So you go and there would be like a bunch of people there, and then there would be a bunch of people on both sides. You go and you talk to someone for like a couple minutes, and then you go to the next person, talk to them, and then at the end, I think you rate them.
What?
You rate them and they rate you, and then if there's a match.
Oh, rate. I thought you said rate with a P, rape.
No, you don't do that. No.
I knew that wasn't what it was supposed to be, but it sounded like you said it. I was like, what?
No, with a T. My speech.
I have a speech impediment in my ears.
No, you go and you give them a numerical rating.
Yeah.
And they give you a numerical rating.
Yeah.
And then if it matches, it matches.
Oh, okay. And then that's the day.
I'm sure they have something like that up at Penn State.
I was gonna say this has got to be like an event or something, because I've never seen those, but that's the only way it would work is somebody sets this up. Some Master Chad sets it up.
More like a company that wants money.
Yeah, dude, that's the ultimate Chad. You're making money off of women and sex and guys and all that.
Actually, why don't you start it?
I don't know why would I do? Because then I'm not going to be in the dates.
No, because then they'll respect you for starting it.
Yeah.
You'll be the manager, and they'll have you have a position of power.
Yes. I'll be like Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. He is a Chad. He's basically this pimp that gets involved with politics as political influence.
Yeah, so it's basically like kind of like Stormy Daniels, but the other way around. Or oh shoot, like that guy in Las Vegas who won like a congressional seat even though he was dead.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty funny. Like, how's that happen? He just does that.
That's a good
But
question. They meme that in the reality.
it's great. But anyways, did you hear what's going on with Laura Loomer?
I saw that she chained herself to the Twitter headquarters and put a Jewish star from the Holocaust on her.
Yeah, that she like apparently like she painted herself up so she looks like that guy from what's the one where they like chain you to the bed and they like put a key in your like stomach and you have to rip it out.
What?
Like that movie with the little clown guy and the tricycle.
Oh, you're thinking of Saw.
Yeah, like that little like the little doll dude. Like she kind of dressed like that, like painted black with like the blush stuff on.
Oh, I was like, yeah, she looks so weird. I literally described her as a goth Joker.
Yeah, like it's basically like the guy from Saw.
Yeah.
Like the little doll dude.
Yeah.
Like, what's she doing? Is she trying to be like Taylor Swift, like when she did that whole like thing where she went emo for a while?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I the only thing I thought that was funny was the Jewish star. Like that was legitimately funny.
And then she like print out a bunch of people's tweets and start like throwing them at people.
Okay.
Like it's so cringy.
Yeah.
Like, and it was mostly about her specific like channel or Twitter account being banned. Like she should have made it about everyone's, but she only said a couple times, and herself was like 50 times because like she banned the stuff that Louis Farrakhan would say comparing like Jewish people to termites. And then she's like, "Oh, how's this allowed on YouTube or not YouTube, but Twitter? But I'm banned for speaking out against Sharia." And it was just like really cringe. It's something that Laura Loomer would do, so it's not really surprising.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm not a big fan for her. I'll talk about this live stream later, but Milo was like, he's like, Laura Loomer. He's like, I've known her, and she's just as crazy in person as you'd expect her to be, but she is fearless. He said with like a touch of irony.
She's like a nuclear bomb. She kind of destroys everything. Both the conservatives and the liberals.
She reminds me of somebody we know.
Yes. Yes.
Who remain unnamed, but we know who we're talking about here.
Certainly. Yeah, I was listening to the Kill stream earlier, and then they were kind of like making fun of her.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Medicare did a video about her like once or twice, like when she was doing some like weird things.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, she was doing some just like strange stuff about like the tires and.
Oh, that tires thing. Oh, Milo trolled her really hard, and I think it upset her a bit. He kind of implied that in his live stream, where on his podcast he was interviewing Laura Loomer, and he said, "Laura, we're gonna play a game. It's called I forget what he called it, but it was basically like slashed or not slashed tire." And he showed her a picture of like a tire that was like deformed or something, and he would say slashed or not, and she got like most of them right.
Dude, like, do you see, like, she went into one of the ones, I don't know if it was a Kill stream or what, but she went on to a stream with Mr. Medicare in it.
Oh, no.
He just, like, kept, like, making fun of her, and she, like, got really offended.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah. She's
like,
just...
She's, like, she just needs, like, this will be good for her health. Because, like, I think she used to do good stuff when she worked with Project Veritas, but then when she did her own thing, it was like, no.
Well, I found out that Gavin actually did some stuff for Project Veritas once.
Ooh.
Yeah, Gavin's hilarious. Oh, my God. There's so many people I didn't realize worked for Project Veritas, like Laura Loomer, Gavin McGinnis. I just call him Gavin for anybody that's listening. Like, Uncle Gavin, I just love his name. But,
Gavin McGinnis.
Yeah.
For everyone else.
Yeah. But speaking of Laura Loomer, there's this trend going around called the Thot Audit.
Well, at least Laura Loomer pays her taxes, I think. I don't think she's got like a private Snapchat or premium Snapchat. Like, I don't even think anyone would really want that.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't understand that meme, because it is a bit complex, but when you hear it laid out, it's funny. Oh, is this funny? This was trending like over the break. It's called #Thot Audit, or as I call it, Audit the Thot. where basically Snapchat has this thing that people create called premium Snapchat accounts. And a premium Snapchat account is basically a private Snapchat account so that nobody sees their story, nobody messages them unless you're friends with them through some
Well, no. Like a premium Snapchat, that's it's more of a social device. It's not ingrained.
Well, yeah,
like it wasn't created by Snapchat.
yeah.
They just don't add you, and you can't see their stuff unless you pay them money for it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to get into. Like, yeah, this isn't something that Snapchat started. Like, this is the slang term for it. That's why I said the private Snapchat account where nobody has access to it. But what people decided to use it for was basically for sending nudes and full-on prostitution. And what they would do is they would advertise publicly, hey, Venmo me or PayPal me $300 a month, and you'll have access to my premium Snapchat. So people start doing that, of course, and they're sending nudes. And this becomes kind of a business, one would say. It becomes a source of income, one would say. And a bunch of incels and other people started to realize, or just think, maybe these girls aren't paying taxes on this. Maybe this is taxable income, and they're not reporting it to the IRS. So what did they do? They reported it to the IRS, and the IRS, when they want to see if you pay their taxes or not, they do an audit. They look at all your financial records, see if you pay taxes, and then say if you have or haven't. And they did it. They started auditing Thoughts, and the Thoughts started freaking out on Twitter saying, oh my God, I'm getting audited. Because some of these, like this one account that actually kind of broke this story was called, I think, Roosh on Twitter. And he claims...
Oh, that guy.
Yeah,
I think he was banned in Australia for some like stuff he did or said in one of his books. He's like an MRA dude.
Oh, really?
Like one of the best Chad guys out there, apparently.
Really? I know nothing about him, but like I remember I saw Sargon's video, like he mentioned him and said, he's like, I normally don't use Roosh as a source. I'm like, oh, is this somebody that's like known? But he claims that one of these thoughts was making $50,000 a year. I don't know if that's a bit high, but you never know. And so
it's entirely possible. Like people pay good money for this stuff. Like just to be honest, premium Snapchat, it's like $20 a week, and then you can sell them like videos. There's like one Snapchat video that's like not even a minute long. It's like $20.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it gets pretty expensive.
Man, the Thoughts charge a hard bargain here. But basically, there's a bigger kick to this, and this is the really funny part. There is an incentive to report Thoughts because if you are a whistleblower, a tax evasion whistleblower, you get up to 30% kickback for your heroic actions of reporting Thoughts to the IRS and getting them audited. This is probably the funniest thing of 2018. I mean, oh my God. Like, look, the incels are in the right here because they are literally reporting a crime. Tax evasion is a crime, and they have the moral high ground here. I'm sorry. If you're going to be on the side of law and order, you have to be on the side of the incels for this one. And it's funny. I mean, these people...
Well, no, you're on the side of the feminists because they say sex work is real work.
Yeah,
and they call it, and these people who have these premium Snapchats call themselves sex workers.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be, if you work, you have to pay taxes, especially because a lot of these people are on the left.
Absolutely.
So their own ideology is enforcing them. Maybe we'll get some like libertarian thoughts out there.
Oh, I love the libertarian meme that's like it's the guy with like the two buttons and he's sweating, and the one button says taxation is theft, but audit the thoughts, and it's like I actually saw.
Did you see the one? It was like a picture of like the don't tread on me, but has like one of them little doggy filter faces on it.
Yeah, that's great. Are we converting Thoughts to libertarianism? Oh no.
Oh my God! Like that's what's gonna end up happening. We're gonna like red pill these people through this.
Yeah,
that'd be great. Just have them do a complete 180 because they want to keep their money.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually was talking to somebody here at Turning Point that actually knows somebody that does this. Like that's like a.
Do
thought.
They pay taxes?
I don't know.
Ooh, you want to make some money?
Yeah, you want to get 30% kickback? Well, this is how. But yeah,
just go look for all them free premium Snapchat accounts. Just go done.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know how, like, the one thing she asked me was, like, how these people are finding these accounts. I think, like, I don't know where they're publicly advertising these. I think on the Snap Map you might be able to find them. Because
Oh, not just that. People post that stuff on Instagram too.
okay. Yeah, I
I'm just
don't use
befriending
Instagram.
someone and I see it's like, oh, I have a premium Snapchat. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
I was like,
I saw that like on like some dating sites. And I was really confused what that meant. Now I know. After this, I've been educated so much on premium Snapchats and the process of tax evasion. Oh, it's funny.
oof. And they're gonna want to not pay taxes, or either sex work is not real work, or you're gonna have to pay taxes because it is real work.
Yeah.
You have to make a stance on that.
Well, what about nudes though? Because that's basically pornography, right?
Yeah, and it's illegal in some places, like especially with
Gay.
this stuff. Like some states have laws against producing pornography for profit.
I think that's stupid. I mean, I think prostitution should be legal, to be honest.
Well, the thing is too, like they're completely like there's like, and the states that do allow it, there's regulations on it.
Oh, of
And
course.
these
There's
people
always got
are
to be
not following
regulation.
any regulations when they're producing these premium Snapchats. To my knowledge, they just they don't go to college to become a porn star. They don't even have an agent. They just do it themselves. And
Yeah.
there's a reason why like they have agents and stuff. Like if you actually go to like real porn stars, is because there's a whole like legal framework of stuff you have to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah. Stormy would know a thing or two about that.
And it's not even just the premium Snapchatter people too. Like there's also these was it like the Findom community is also being affected by this.
What's that?
The financial domination where people like they have the pay piggies and they'll just pay them money because they I don't know, it's the most stupidest thing out there. It's like even worse than cuckoldry fetish, it's financial domination.
Wait, is that like Catcher in the Rye stuff where they pay a prostitute just to talk to them?
They insult them and then they give them money and then they still insult them and they blackmail them. Like I saw this one thing.
This is
with
what
some
Twitter's
girl-
for. What are they
like, I
doing?
saw, I saw this one girl like on the internet. Me took it, and some guy gave like he took out a loan for $100,000 to give to this person and he took a second job so he could be financially dominated.
What? That's so stupid.
It's like cuckoldry. It's probably the most laziest fetish out there, except for this, because with this you get literally nothing. At least you're watching something. And I think cuckoldry is not very good, but financial domination is like it's a step above that.
Yeah, it goes leaps and bounds ahead of cuckoldry. It puts cuckoldry to shame.
What?
I said puts cuckoldry to shame.
Yeah, it does. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, well, to me, it's like, look, again, do whatever you want for your life as long as you're not harming me. Live and let live. I'm all for that. Like, that's why I think all these things I was just saying should be legal. But at the same time, there needs to be a cultural, societal stigma against degeneracy.
Well, it's not even just that. They don't apparently the financial domination people a lot of times don't even pay taxes.
Well, they should. I mean, you're exchanging a service, I guess.
I don't think they're just getting straight up money gifts. You just have to pay taxes on that unless they're related.
Yeah.
Even that, it's only up to like a certain amount of money.
I mean, it's just, oh god, it's just like, my thing is like, I don't know if these things are just getting more attention because of the internet, but like, are these things becoming more of a thing like cuckoldry and economic domination? And
I don't think financial domination existed until relatively recently.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, people get blackmailed beforehand, but this is like you wanting to get blackmailed by somebody by giving them money for like literally nothing. I mean, I don't even think they get pictures out of that.
Wow, that's sad.
It's the most stupidest fetish out there. And then cuckoldry. I mean, it's probably been a thing for a while, but probably used to be a thing with like closeted like gay men or something who had a wife and they like can watch someone else pleasure her. But like, I don't think it was nearly as big as it is today.
Oh, I love how that our one avid viewer on YouTube said something to us about me getting a girlfriend in the grinder thing, and he's like, oh, I thought you played for the other team. And I was like, no. That was funny.
From a conversation that we had the other night.
Oh, we always have interesting things in our conversation. I'll let you start off then, so we don't forget or anything. What do you got for us, boyo?
Well, so I was on Facebook right now, and I got this advertisement, and it was for a software. It was like a company that would like do your papers for you. And I remember the other night we had a guest talk to us. And apparently this is a problem at Penn State, especially among the international students.
Yeah.
Where they will pay people to do exams for them. Just like, that's pretty crazy. And like they're openly advertising on Facebook. Like there's so much stuff. Like you can't advertise, like guns or anything. You can't advertise, Alex Jones or anything on Facebook. But you can advertise cheating for med school degrees, because this is what it was advertised. We'll do your med school papers for you.
Wow.
And how is that approved on Facebook?
Good question. They also approve Antifa's content too, so.
This is an advertisement. It wasn't even just like a Facebook page. This was an advertisement. So they're getting money from these people.
Yeah.
Because it's not cheap either. I don't know why they keep saying it to me too, because I don't go to college anymore. But like, especially for med school students, because that's really dangerous. You want your doctor to be some dude who paid like somebody to go and take exams for him. He was just like lazing about playing, Red Dead or something, or like Fortnite, Minecraft,
exactly.
Roblox. I don't know. Do you want that guy to be, doing open heart surgery on you?
No. Yeah, that's the thing that I have a problem with, is that these people are cheating the system. They're getting the same degree as other people that work their butts off. They're going into the workplace and they're incompetent and have no clue of what they're doing. And yet they still get jobs. I mean, that is genuinely scary, and it's not good for society to encourage cheating and give payment for cheating and have cheating be just an accepted thing.
Well, see, if this was like for a history major, or like a arts major, like an advertising major.
Hey.
But like, no, the difference is when you're doing an actual major that like is life or death, like nursing or med school.
Yeah.
Like, even if it's like an IST major, I'm not a big fan of that, but it's not like it's a life or death thing. But when you have someone's like a lawyer or a doctor or an engineer, because like a lawyer, if you have a crappy lawyer, then you might end up doing life in prison or get executed if you have like just a terrible defense attorney. But like the stuff that I'm seeing over here, like these advertisements, it's just terrible. Like for med school, really? Like, I mean, of course they'd be the ones who want the most because it's hard, but like, why are they allowed to advertise this on Facebook? You ban so much inane crap on Facebook.
Yeah.
But you allow this. You allow cheating. Your Facebook is contributing to the, degradation of society by allowing these people to advertise. It'd be one thing if they just post on there, but they're showing up on your screen whether or not you subscribe to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Facebook endorses cheating.
State, like my one friend was, he was telling us about, there's primarily, at least from his point of view, there's a lot of Chinese students over here who go and pay people to go and take exams for them and do papers. Like, it's one thing to have someone do a paper for you, but like to physically go inside and take an exam for you. And it's happening at Penn State. And I've heard from other universities that they've been caught not even just doing an exam, but doing an entire class for somebody.
Wow.
From start to finish, doing the exams, doing the coursework, going in class and attending. While these guys will be out, like, doing whatever else they want to do, playing video games, drinking, drugs, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not going to class. Like, and how do you really solve this problem?
Well, the one way, and Penn State does this on quite a few tests, is when you take an exam, like for my business class, you have to put your name and student ID number, and then at the end, they check your student ID to see if you look like you. There was a comment I'll say to you off air, but I can see a problem with this.
Oh no, like that actually happened in Australia. They mentioned this. They did. These people will do that. They will do that, and they will take the course, and they will either get a fake student ID printed that looks like a real one, and I mean you can have someone scan it, which they do at Penn State, or if they look similar, you know, they could go and take that,
yeah,
and just roll with it.
Which
like borrow the other person's stuff.
Yeah,
and I mean, you know, if they really want to go all out, it'd be that difficult to do that. Like, I mean, like they could go and just like, who's really gonna go and check like every single student? Does this look exactly like this person?
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing if it's a girl versus a guy, but if it's like, you know, you're both men of the same ethnicity, you have the same color hair, same color eyes, how are they gonna know?
Yeah, I mean, usually they're
unless you look really different. Like most people, they're just gonna glance at it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and that's probably why they're getting away with it here. But I remember our friend was telling us that in China they would take the exams in South Korea, and they didn't take into account that there's a 1-hour time difference, so that the people in
Hong Kong.
Yeah, in Hong Kong were also taking the same test as in South Korea, and the South Korean kids would send it over to the Hong Kong kids, and they would get an hour early, so they would get the answers. And I thought these people were smart. I mean, that's like the biggest, you know, blunder in the book here.
Well, they should have used different questions.
Yeah.
For every country, I think should have different, like every general area should use, it should be like a one-use question for each like location.
Or at least different test versions like they do here with some tests. We have an A, B, or C version.
Well, they might have had all of that stuff like sent out.
Yeah, I know.
Because it was an SAT test. The same ones that we have every year.
That's
they
true.
probably had a bunch of them. They just like looked over the answers.
That's the other thing. I didn't realize. Are they doing those SATs to get into the colleges here? Oh, because I was wondering why are they taking SATs in China and South Korea? That's to get into the colleges here. But yeah, and also the SATs are just crappy tests because they really don't say a lot about you, to be honest. Like, I do very good in school, and yeah, I did very bad on my SATs until the last one I had to do good on to get into here, but, you know.
Well, like, with the SATs, I think they're basically trying to give you an IQ test, but they're not allowed to give you an IQ test for some reason.
Yeah, but it's not really
so they give you this other test that's kind of like an IQ test, but not exactly, so they can get away with it. If they could just go straight up IQ tests, it would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
But they want to be politically correct and give us the SATs, which, you know, if you study them enough, you can do a lot better on. It's like the AS, like with the military. Like that was easy. Like I don't know if you ever took one of those, but I was in high school and I was like, oh, I'm going to take this. And like I got like, it was like a 95 or something on it. It was like up there out of 100. And then you have people out there who struggle to get 20. Like, wow. I think it was like, I think the Marines or like the Army, it was like really low. It was like a 20 or like, it was like either like a 16 or like a 20 or 30 just to get in. And I got like a 95. And there's like, they're not hard questions on there, folks. I was like, geez.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the problem with me with tests is that I take a long time to answer questions, especially if they're math related. You know, I'm slow more ways than one. And so with a test question, like I will take a lot of time to do it. It takes me a long time. But some people can do it real quickly. I can't. I could probably get the same grade as some people. It's just I do it slower. Which I can
they make accommodations for people with special needs.
Oh, don't they? Yeah.
But no, like just the low standards, and like the ASVAB too. I think they reused half the questions like in the spring one and then they did in the fall. And I was just like, wow. How are people failing this? Yeah. I just took that because I'd rather take that useless test than like go to class that day. So I was like, yeah.
Well, that's funny.
And that made me feel good about myself. But then my SATs weren't as good. Like I wish I would have just like I wish I could have just used my ASVAB to get to college.
Well, I think what they should do, if they're going to do IQ tests, I don't think they necessarily would need to give you an IQ score. What they could just tell you is which percentile you're in. You know, so people don't feel so offended or anything. Like if we want to compromise, just say, oh, you're in this percentile. And, you know.
Well, you can get an IQ test. Like,
I know you can, but I'm saying for schools.
I took one before, like an actual IQ test by the school. But I think a lot of that too, and like there's a lot of problems with those IQ tests because it was giving me these most stupid questions. It was like, "What is this instrument?" And I was like that was literally half of them. And I was like, "Geez, this is biased as heck." I don't listen to like classical music, you know. Like there's some serious problems with this test. And it was like French horn and like I don't know instruments that well, but you give me like reasoning and stuff, I'm better with that.
Yeah.
And then my scores kind of reflected some of that. And the math ones, I was like, yeah, no.
Well, that's the thing with IQ tests. When people say, "Oh, I got this on IQ test," I'm like, "Well, how many did you take?" "Oh, I just took this one test." Well, there are a lot of different IQ tests
out there. Well, those are fake ones. Most of those people who take those IQ tests are taking fake IQ tests.
Yeah.
Like you get an actual real one, they're expensive. Like this, I mean, the school wastes a bunch of money.
You cucked the school with a C.
Yeah. I ended up I findomed them.
Oh, you shifty boyo. I just more of the story is I think SATs just are good for a certain type of person, but bad for another certain type of person. And that's the problem with education in general is that you're trying to, standardize stuff for individuals. You're trying to collectivize individuals, whereas everybody learns differently, everybody thinks things differently, everybody operates differently at different speeds, and you're trying to standardize teaching, and that's part of the problem I think we have is literally just the standardization of teaching methods and test taking methods.
Should do it. Well, here's the thing too. It should depend on your major because like my SAT scores weren't the best. I mean, they weren't bad, but they weren't like genius level, but I was like, within the top 10 and like there's between like 10 and like 5% of my, like with my GPA, it was like the second highest honor. And I didn't even really, like, it wasn't even that difficult, honestly.
For me, it was.
Like, I mean, it would be like different living on campus versus like off campus. But honestly, I think it would have been harder living off campus. But like, maybe my major was just easy or something. The teachers over here just didn't care. Yeah. But like, I mean, I've taken some hard classes before. Like, believe me.
Yeah, same.
But like maybe, I mean, if I was like an engineer, I've done a lot. Like, they should go and do it. Like, if you don't get this score in math, you can't do an engineering major.
Right.
Like, maybe like just use that. And then like, I don't know. I think another problem too is you'll keep switching majors, and you kind of like put a damper on that.
Yeah. There's somebody we know that's done a bit of that.
You need to like I understand you might not know what you want to do when you first come in, but like
me,
I think you should probably find that out beforehand. Like that needs to be taken care of before you start going to college, because the only reason and a college likes it when they encourage you to change your major because they can make money off it.
Exactly. Yep, that's why they love it. And I think people definitely need to figure their get their stuff together. But like you shouldn't be like your third year into college and just change it or have a stupid degree. Like if it ends in studies, don't major in it. Okay? It's a waste of time and money, and nobody's going to hire you. Don't do stupid majors. Pick something.
If your degree that ends with a BA,
hey, but look, why do I always have to be on the defense of my major? Because my major is a great major. People need me and hire me. They want me badly. Every public company needs advertising. They need good advertising, so they hire Misa. Gavin,
they're gonna get a robot to do the same thing that you're doing in like 5 years.
See, this is what I do worry about. Is that people are like, oh, robots aren't gonna take over certain jobs. I'm like, yeah, they will. Let's look at advertising. What a robot will do is they will take a slogan. Let's say they will take a political slogan like make the United States of America a better place in the world. And they will test that slogan.
Make America great again.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting to. They're gonna take that slogan and they're gonna take a bunch of bots. They're gonna send it out to a bunch of different people. A/B test it. See how people react. Then they're gonna modify to make America a better place. A/B test that. Make America great. A/B test that. Make America great again. Oh, that's the best one. And then there's your slogan. So you're probably not going to need me eventually, but I am still a creative element, and creativity is very difficult for AI to do right now. That'll happen in our lifetimes, but probably around like 2040 or 2050. So I'll have my job for a while, so I'll be fine, and I'll be building skills that'll be useful in other things, which is really why I'm in this major. Is because I honestly I want to be an entrepreneur. Does that sound idealistic? But maybe. But I need
the
to.
moral of your story is you should start smoking now, so you don't like lose your job.
What?
So you don't want to live past I won't want like useless and get on the street. You got to start smoking now. Start drinking, start smoking, and then you might not get to see that 2040.
I thought you said that smoking builds testosterone and is good for you.
It does. Testosterone's dangerous. It's a good dangerous. You have to live on the edge. It's freedom.
Oh, is it toxic masculinity? Is that what you're calling it now?
It's toxic masculinity. That's why I hate cigarettes. It is literally toxic masculinity. But no, I don't know. It's just a scary new world out there.
No, it is. But my point is that
I want to live into my old age, because what's gonna happen? I already see what's going on with YouTube and Facebook and Twitter right now. Can you imagine just 40 years from now, it's gonna be you think the wrong thoughts and then you're banned from any sort of smart technology.
Oh yeah, that's gonna happen.
You go and do something, you say something mean on Twitter, and then you're banned from using your Tesla car. It just won't automatically drive you.
Yeah, and I think
that's going to be the future. You're going to be evicted from your house because you said something mean on the internet once.
Yeah. Well, see, and this is a thing that it's not going to happen every day to millions of people, but it's going to be something that happens to a Milo or to a Crowder or to a Gavin, where they're going to not only ban them on Twitter and Facebook, but they're going to shut down their bank accounts, shut down their access to so many things, their car, their home, that it'll be it'll start with somebody crazy like Alex Jones, and they'll slowly wean down to people that are more accepted, and it'll become normalized. They'll do it on a crazy because they know they can get away with it. People won't freak out as much. But then they'll start doing it to normal people, and it's only going to get worse. And that's why, my goal in life is to really form, or should I say system, as Scams would say, my system in life is to build as much skills as possible and get a heck of a lot of money. Because when you have a lot of money, like Trump money, you have independence. Wealth is independent. You can do whatever you want and get away with a lot of stuff and have your own life and privacy intact. It's a beautiful thing.
Until they take your bank account because you said something mean once and you didn't read the terms of service.
Yeah, well, this is why mattresses will still be a thing. I mean, that's
you have a lot of mattresses for that.
Oh boy!
And then boom, the mattress company will go and take them too.
Yeah, you'll get audited.
Crazy system.
Yeah, you'll get audited by the mattress company. I would just have. Well, if you have a mansion, you have plenty of mattresses for this stuff. But my point is that
the mansion, the bank will just take it over.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a crazy future. That's all I'm gonna say. It's I think this is the one thing that Orwell didn't predict, and then other people didn't predict, is that our government in America, at least, is not going to become some authoritarian, Fourth Reich, one day. It's very decentralized, and there are many checks and powers put in place. It's never going to go crazy with their power, or too crazy, I should say. But private companies, mega corporations, especially Silicon Valley, are going to have a lot. They already have a lot of power, but they're going to get insanely more power because the government is so stupid and slow to react that they're going to be far left behind. It's going to be a bunch of boomers or, other, whatever generation is going to be the old generation in the future, and they won't know what to do about it. And they're going to be slow and lazy, stupid, and lobbied to not do anything about it.
Well, I think eventually we'll get to that point where it becomes a Fourth Reich sort of scenario, but it's going to be right now it's going to start with this stuff, and it's going to get more and more. They're going to start putting these hate speech laws into law in the United States. And then see, look at what's going on with China. They have that social credit system.
Yeah,
they're basically freaky. Having the free market version of that right now in the United States.
Yeah,
but we don't get to see that. We don't get to see your credit scores on there.
Yeah.
You just know the really bad people being tested with the really, the loudest people. and then it's going to come to everybody, and then it's going to be like, oh, you have these points over here, you're a good Facebook user, and then it's going to be shared on every site. And then eventually it's going to be put into, the law, and, there's not much we can do about it at that point.
Well, Twitter already does that with the verification check mark. It is a class, a protected class on Twitter, those with verified check marks. They took it away from Milo. Even though he didn't violate anything, they would take away your check mark that just says this is the real Milo. And they took it away from him because that is a special class of people. The people that Twitter likes more are these verified, check mark users. And speaking of hate speech, one of the things, the exclusive I was going to talk about was in the hub here, I did a hate speech is free speech change my mind table, which was interesting. When I was setting it up all alone, I was kind of shaking, a little scared. I'm like, oh my God, somebody's going to kill me for this. Because people on this campus are nuts in some fractions, but not UC Berkeley nuts or Antifa nuts, but they're nuts. There are some nuts here. And in my position, hate speech is free speech is a legal precedent. There's no definition of hate speech in America. The Supreme Court has unanimously always said that hate speech is protected. And yet, when I was sitting there, I got one guy, a few guys that agree with me, but a heck of a lot of dirty looks. Oh my God. So many snickers and this Nazi here. Look at this Nazi. And obviously I'm not a Nazi, especially if they knew a thing or two about some of my other practices. They would know I am far from...
They were so soy-filled they can't even go up to you.
I know. I think that's what happened. I first thought, it must be because it's finals week. Maybe people just don't have the time to debate me and have a discussion. I think they are so filled with soy, so beta, that they were too scared to debate me. In fact... One guy, I was just sitting there and I see this ginger guy just turn around and flip me the middle finger, and I call him out for it because I went from change my mind to crowd to confront in a second there. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna put up with that. I got to call cowards out when I see them. So I said, hey, come back here, come on, have a debate, let's have a productive conversation, come on. And he just kept walking, didn't care. And I didn't see him come out of the Panda Express. He kind of just disappeared, went out the back exit or the fire escape. Couldn't even walk past me again before getting triggered.
Yeah, they'll probably write an article about that on their Tumblr account and then be done with it.
Oh, we gotta find that.
They have a Trump punching bag or beanie bag pillow because they're too afraid to go and punch things. They'll just slap it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't even see him even slapping at I know they can do slaps. That's a very beta thing, right? A slap, not even a hard.
They'll cry
slap.
after it too to go and because they had to expose their masculine side in doing violence.
Yeah, it's toxic masculinity. So they have to apologize to the feminist gods. But yeah, I did have a conversation with somebody at the end that agreed with my statement but disagreed on certain stuff, and he was kind of cucked out on hate speech where he said, I think hate speech is bad. And I'm like, yeah, well, depends how you define it. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say. And then he said I've seen Crowder's videos where he does rape culture is the myth, and I think stuff like that's really triggering, and that's not a good thing to do. And I'm like, that's just being a bit silly, because why is that triggering to people? He's not saying rape is good. He agrees.
It's a different opinion.
Exactly. He says rape is
bad. They
bad.
don't like to think that people with other opinions exist.
Yeah.
Because it make them look bad.
Yeah, they get so... I notice this when I'll talk to radical leftists or even just moderate leftists. You'll just say something I think we should build a wall. And they'll look at you with horror, oh, this Nazi, this monster. And they start shaking and they're it's you do realize there are people half the country with a different opinion than you? You know
they try to stab you with a set of keys.
oh yeah, that was a doozy one. Or they threatened to beat up Mikey. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, geez, they need that next gen company. That's a terrible place to be.
Oh yeah, there's somebody that I wouldn't mind the IRS auditing, seeing what's really going on there.
Penn State needs to audit them. They've been signing up for rooms under false pretenses.
Yep.
Like, how are they able to do that? But
Yeah.
if you guys did the same thing, that wouldn't be allowed.
Oh, we'd be nailed to a cross. We'd be
Yeah, the college
crucified.
Republicans had they signed up like someone else to come to a room. They didn't say it was the college Republicans doing it. They would not allow that.
Oh yeah.
No way, no how.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So that happened. Nothing really interesting happened, which kind of disappointed me, except the things I mentioned. But we're gonna try it again next semester and do some more, and see how people react.
Yes, for that tea commercial over there.
Yeah, it's funny because I was at a thing in my PR class where a guest speaker came and played a consent video, and it was the exact same ad as that, but like 5-minute version.
Oh god, so I mean, that's not an entirely appropriate analogy. Usually people we don't have tea shops over here. You can't go to Starbucks and ask for a cup of tea. I mean, I guess you probably could, but you need their Snapchat accounts or whatever they do, the Venmo.
I was just about to say
that's kind of looked down upon over here.
I was about to say you can't audit tea makers. Oh wait.
Well, yeah, you can. You could always audit tea makers.
That's why I said. Oh wait. But yeah. Yeah, in that class, they were also talking to us about, they're like, your clubs and organizations should never advertise doing parties with alcohol unless you specify it's for only people over 21. And I immediately thought of some clubs that have done that.
Like every single, I've been in a bunch of clubs and it goes on whether they know it or not.
Yeah. Well,
they just, I guess it's a legal thing.
Yeah. And the other thing was what was I thinking? They told me something that I didn't know about, which is that if you get into some sort of major incident off campus, but close to the area, they will report it to Penn State. If you get into some let's say you get caught for giving alcohol to minors, they'll tell that to Penn State, even though you're off campus.
Oh yeah, I imagine they would do that. I mean, I don't think that's a problem with you since you're more straight edge than a razor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. What was that topic you were thinking about, Mister?
There are two actually topics I just noticed I have left. I'll do the quick one first, which is there's this YouTube. I want to go on record and say this because I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. There's this newer YouTube channel called Dweck, which is a new right-wing comedy show by Victor Dweck and Tom Leppard. And they've done some skits. They've uploaded 10 videos. There are a bunch of skits. One's of a fireman who saved this guy from a burning building, and then the news anchor starts saying, "Oh, good job in saving him." He's like, "Yeah, I saved a Mexican family from their fire, and we were all happy and safe." And he goes, "They're Guatemalan." And then from there, he starts going into his Facebook history, and he's like, "Is this you wearing a MAGA hat?" And basically, the video shows all these typical leftists where they're basically doxing this guy live on air, and basically get him fired at the end. So doing skits like that. They had Gilbert Godfrey in one of them, where he was a PR executive saying that we need no more kneeling in the NFL. But the Tom Leppard guy was a famous writer on Seinfeld, Cheers, and Will and Grace, and wrote some of their famous episodes. So they have some a A-list person behind this. But they're actually they released a trailer the other day for an actual, it looks like a TV show they're doing. It said Dweck coming to TV in 2019. So we might get some right-wing comedy on actual TV now. Because
last time they had that, they got pulled from Adult Swim.
Yeah, and that's how they're framing this, is that they show all these celebrities saying F Trump, or all these people on these late night shows just bashing Trump, and it's well, what if you had a right-wing comedy? And that's what this is. But I think it'll be interesting to see.
I'd watch it. What did they say, what network they were going to be on?
They said nothing other than coming to television in 2019. It's really vague.
I mean, I guess they also have the what's that one with the home improvement dude in it?
Oh yeah, Tim Allen's show. Why was his name slipping? Crap. Last Man Standing.
I mean, I guess they have that, and that's relatively right wing,
Yeah, it
or at least right
is.
leaning.
Yeah, yeah.
But like,
What was that?
oh no, I think they should get like a. I think Crowder should get like a TV channel. I think that'd be helpful, like or at least
Absolutely.
on a network.
Oh, absolutely. I think this Dweck, though, I think they're gonna make it big. Like I've seen some spark of talent, I've seen some creativity, I see some potential in these videos where it could definitely be something big. So I would definitely keep an eye out it, and I eye on it. And I wanted to bring it up because not enough people are talking about it. But their videos have gone semi-viral, some of them, because they were actually funny. And they're gonna, go after Antifa, all kinds of stuff they're showing in this trailer. So it'd be interesting to follow that. But to segue off of that, I was telling you about this last night. I wanted to bring this up, but Milo Yiannopoulos, who I've been saying a lot today, he did these 2 live streams where he was addressing like all the issues with his touring and these issues that he's been having, and he's basically talking about his big comeback for 2019. For those who don't know, like this guy was like on the top of the world, like ultra famous in the right wing circles, and he appeared on Bill Maher. And this guy got really famous really quickly, and then just disappeared after they brought up these false allegations against him and basically smeared him as a pedophile sympathizer, even though he was a victim of pedophilia, and just totally like shut him off of Twitter, every social media like outlet, every payment says like all kinds of stuff. He's still on Instagram and Facebook, amazingly, but they've like he couldn't do campus speeches anymore because every campus would cancel his speeches, or the security fees would be too high, or just so many crazy things would happen. And so he's addressing that he's basically going to come back in 2019 with a late night style show with commentary, skits, costumes, characters, and even he said singing and more stuff. And it sounds like he's going to be doing that in locations because he said there are going to be tickets. So I think that's his way of getting around the censorship on campuses, and he's going to be putting it up on YouTube for free because he did this podcast last year that really alienated a lot of his fan base because it was all behind a paywall and there weren't many subscribers, and he really didn't like doing it. And he's been trying to publish a book about Harvey Weinstein and the pedophilia in Hollywood, but that's been taking a long time because there's a lot of legalities involved. But this live stream was genuinely interesting, though, to see the behind the scenes of like the right-wing sort of cultural movement, because he was talking about like how he was basically broke at one point where he had to, he wasn't doing the podcast anymore. He was just doing it on his iPhone, and he eventually stopped. He was cutting a lot of his employees and almost had to start cutting like key people that he loved. He couldn't pay for his doctor bills. And then like when he was this one guy, this like heir to like some prince or something, said, "Hey, I'll write you a check for a lot of money. They'll save your company and all that." And he said, "All right, great." And they were at like some like dinner, and they went to their hotel rooms. And then the next morning, when he was going to write the check, he had died of a drug overdose. And like talk about the worst of luck. And so Milo was like really depressed at that point. And he got married and got definitely much happier, to a black husband, I might add. But interestingly, though, is that he exposed like a lot of these like interesting elements of the culture right now, where he talked about like the walk away guy, Brandon Stryka. He said like,
what happened with him?
What was that? What was that?
What happened with What happened with the walk away movement? What's up with that?
Well, Milo said that it's been pretty much, hasn't gotten any traction because it's trying to appeal to all minorities, when if you would, just specifically target blacks, Hispanics, or gays or something, you'd have much more success, which makes sense from a marketing perspective, because that's what we're taught in like ad class. But he said it's a little suspicious with this guy, because he said he has no opinion on him, but he said that this was a New York hairdresser that a day after his video went viral, he registered a bunch of trademarks, got a bunch of hats, got a bunch of shirts, got this whole like campaign, totally legally like set up. When from personal experience, Milo said like the press will have be a million press inquiries on you, that you're spending days like dealing with the media before even thinking about this. Either he's very, 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 very savvy and has some very, very savvy friends, or as Milo said, there's a lot of pre-planned or pre-funded stuff going on here. Like it's a little, like I don't want to go as far as say it's controlled opposition, but it's a little like when
What's he really doing? Like, I mean, it's just a walk away movement. It had been banned from Facebook or something. It was one of the social media, probably
they
Twitter.
still are on Facebook, but they were banned for like a day. But what Milo was saying was like, because doing trademarks is a bit of an effort. Like, it's not something you just quickly, easily do and get all these hats made quickly and easily. But he did like a day after, like his video went viral, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, he may have been planning this for a while. You don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know anything about this guy either, but
because
I don't really like. I just
he's a
be careful with
hairdresser.
like downplaying people that I don't know much about.
Yeah.
Although, do you hear what like happened with that? Who is that one tranny person, the Blair White?
Really? Oh, something happened with her?
Yeah, I think that she like disavowed the conservative movement. I heard rumors about that. She
Why?
said that they're fake. That I can't stand the fake conservatives out here, and then she just like pulled a Kanye.
Well, did she list any names?
No.
Interesting. I'm gonna look into that because that was like what Milo was talking about with Jordan Peterson. The right has really liked this guy, and I don't like him anymore. After I saw a piece that Milo wrote and a video by Owen Benjamin, I don't like Jordan Peterson. I lost all respect for him. I think he's a big fraud because
I never cared about. I mean, he seemed like he was useful for a little bit, but like he just started getting weird and like punching to the right.
Exactly.
And I generally don't like to do that, unless you're like talking about like making fun like the George Bush or something. I don't care if you do that, but like just attacking like everyone on the right, like I won't go and make fun of Crowder. I mean, I'll say some things about like who was it? Ben Shapiro, but that's only because he attacks other people on the right, like Milo.
Yeah, he's a never Trumper.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Even Milo said before he said all this, he's like, I know everything about everyone, but I've kept quiet because these people are on our side, they're helping us, and I don't like punching to the right. But there comes a point when the lack of authenticity is so glaring and everybody's afraid to go after them that you have to call it out. And I know what he means by that. I really understand that because, like with Peterson, everybody hailed this guy as like a god. Like, oh my God, he's the savior of Western civilization. And I'm like...
What did he tell people to do? Clean your room. Oh my God, it's the newest, it's the most innovative thing. Like, geez, like his audience.
Yeah, I know.
I guess maybe they didn't clean their room. Like, maybe it's like, was he targeting like incels and like meats and stuff?
No, he literally was. Yeah, I know. Well,
some people out there, like, I mean, I know people who probably should like listen at least to that particular thing.
Yeah.
They don't clean their room and they just are like lazy and they just play video games all day and do nothing. But like,
oh God. Well, that was the reason I never got on the Jordan Peterson bandwagon. Like, I always said, yeah, I kind of like him, but he's a bit odd. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I was never really a fan of him. I was just like, yeah, he's kind of useful.
So the whole thing where he like blew up was when he like didn't want to call someone who was, he didn't want to go and use their proper pronoun or something, or said he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But then if they asked him, he said he would. So I was like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even that controversial out there. Like, I mean, now I guess nowadays in Canada probably is because it's a legal thing, but like it's really like one of the most milquetoast sort of issues out there.
Exactly.
It's like Ben Shapiro level of offensive.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, and when the thing with Peterson is like, I back this up from personal experience. Because Owen Benjamin in his expose video said that Peterson like gouges people for ticket prices. He will make like $200,000 from like one speaking event, whereas like Owen will make like a couple thousand on a good day because he charges little for tickets. But Peter, like, he'll charge like $20 a ticket, which is kind of cheap, for Owen, and I think that's very fair. But let's say even 100. Peterson charges like 200, 300, and then you got to pay an extra just to shake his hand, and he's making out like a bandit with this, and because of some of the people he's dealing with. But then he goes, when he tries to go on Dr. Oz and he's in a test screening, to make it past their test screening, he tweets out these Kavanaugh tweets where he goes, Kavanaugh should accept his nomination and then step down. What?
That upsets me.
I know, because, and this is what Milo said, that when push comes to shove, Peterson will fold. You know, he really changes his viewpoints. He doesn't stand for anything. On something like this, is the guy that made his career on standing up against the mob, standing up against the crazy feminists, standing up for what you believe in. But when it comes to Kavanaugh, hashtag believe all women, let's let him win. I mean, well, I just don't get that. And he also talked about how Joe Rogan, has been playing things a little safe recently in his interviews. Like, he used to have Gavin on, Milo, Alex Jones. The edgiest thing he did recently was Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is just a really cool nerd. But Joe Rogan has stopped having controversial, interesting guests on. He'll have Peterson on, but it's like, oh, okay. And then of course the last thing I'll mention is that Milo also went into this thing about how the Australian tour group he was working with was basically. They first of all, the venue pulls him and says, oh, we're not going to have you here anymore. And then they start extorting him. He showed the text where they're basically like threatening him with legal action, going to the media, not giving him his money back, suing him, all kinds of like constant texts. I mean, it's crazy out there, just the amount of censorship and trying to, hold these people back because they know they're influential. It's really something that, like, I found those live streams like oddly fascinating, even though it's just him talking about his life and what he's been through, and it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's some crazy stuff with all that. Like, I have to go and watch it. I haven't seen the videos he sent me yet. It's just been so busy. But like,
yeah,
like, did you hear what's been going on with that song? Like, it's cold outside.
Yeah, they bring that up every Christmas for like the past like 2 years. Like, that started around like 2015, where they're like, oh, it's a rape song. And so the feminists made this like cringy, like PC version where it's like, I forget, I'll have to send it to you. It's like the wimpiest thing in the world. And for the record,
the thing is, like, if you actually understanding the context around that, like, the historical context of just being the 1950s or 60s, and two, from the actual movie that it was part of.
Well, yeah,
like, it was like a song that some guy wrote for his wife. It wasn't about him like date raping somebody.
Yeah, and it's describing wooing a woman, saying, it's like when your girlfriend wants to leave and you're like, no, stay here. It's cold outside. Stay here with me. We'll have some fun. It's flirting. It's what guys do, and girls like it.
Well, yeah, like, it was just like a kind of a flirty duet. And like, this was back in the 50s, in a time where you couldn't just have an unmarried woman, stay with someone who's, not a relative of hers, like, who's male. Like, this was actually a sex-positive feminist song rallying against the, the social norms of the time. If you want to use that interpretation, I mean,
yeah.
To everyone else, it's just it's a normal song. But like, why are the feminists flipping out over it? Like, oh, he's putting pills in the drink. No, it was like, if anything, it was alcohol, and that was they didn't even have pills like that, like, in mass use back then. It wasn't like the 80s when Quaaludes and all that other junk was everywhere. This was about, like, if you watch a movie, it's got a completely different context. It's just so annoying. And this, like, Ohio radio station decided to go and ban it.
What? Wait, do we have it? Do we have this song?
You have to play that at the end.
Yes. But yeah, pills weren't around then, because this is far before Bill Cosby's time. So, I mean, it's just silly.
Well, then I heard people getting offended over, like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because they think it's like...
They think he's marginalized.
It's like promoting bullying or something.
Yeah.
And then, like, the gay community says, like, the red nose is supposed to represent, like, Rudolph being the gay reindeer.
What?
And they're getting offended over it. Like, it is so ridiculous. Like, every single song is now considered offensive to people.
Oh, my God.
Like, there's really nothing that's not going to offend some group anymore. Like, even colors, especially colors, oh, this is a nice, gray, I don't know, sheet. Oh, that's, the Ku Klux Klan wore sheets. That's offensive. Gray looks like white, and white offends me.
Yeah, it looks like the Klan.
It's just so ridiculous these days. It's just like, can we just be calm and try to
be normal,
get along with each other? Like, and that's the thing. Like, I was listening to the stream again. That's like half the stuff I do. It's like, I'll be like driving, like, and I always drive. I'm driving hours and hours. I need an oil change tomorrow. But I was driving, I was listening to it, and like they were talking about like, just some of the politics, and it's like, yeah, they a lot of people think that there's going to be major conflicts soon because people are so alienated from each other, like especially in the cities and versus the country. Like just little things offend people. Like you drive a car, a regular car, that will offend people because like, oh, that's bad for the environment, or if you're a bus driver, other people make fun of you too. And then if it's just so crazy, you go to college, that offends. When you don't go to college, they think that they're elitist and they're like, oh, you're uneducated. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Like,
culture wars are bubbling up. I don't think there's going to be any major conflict, though. I mean, this has
well,
been
I don't know. If things keep going the way they are, I think, another 10, 20 years, there's going to be some sort of issue. Right now, when the economy is good, I don't think it's going to be much of a problem. But because, if people have money, that kind of shields them from things. If they have a job, that's what they care about.
Exactly.
But especially and that's what they're mentioning, like especially with the tech revolution, once, robots start taking people's jobs, you're going to have a bunch of unemployed people who hate everyone else. They're like, then they have time because they don't have to worry about jobs. They don't got one anyways. And that's when you're going to start seeing problems.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, because, you're going to become more lazy without these robots. And what are you going to do for fun? Oh, I'm bored now. I guess I'll just start some street scruffles with people. It's...
Well, not even necessarily like that. It'll be like, once you don't have a job, what else do you have to lose? And a lot of these people aren't having families now, so it's not like they have to worry about their wife and kids. When you have nothing to lose, risking it all isn't as much of a thing, and that's I think a major problem.
Yeah,
and especially with our generation, because a lot of them, they don't really have jobs, like not like real jobs. They don't have families, and if they do have families, a lot of them don't have kids.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be an issue that's going to be bubbling up.
Am I going to be a part of that issue based on my record so far?
Well, I don't know. I could see it.
You can see it. Oh, no.
Well, you'll be on the right side of history.
Oh my God, you're using that leftist phrase. Don't
literally the right side.
I know. Don't you hate when people say that too?
I absolutely hate that. I use it ironically.
I know you were, but it's like,
just like the concept that there's a right and wrong in history, like for everything.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no objective right and wrong, but like the way they make it is like basically the person that's viewed historically as right is the one that wins.
Exactly.
Maybe like 2,000 years later, you can give a more objective answer of it, but it's generally who wins. Like that's the one thing Call of Duty taught me. The victors write the history books.
That's a Napoleon quote, I think. Well, I'm saying, why did you learn this in Call of Duty?
It was like MW2, and the guy it was at like the ending, and he kind of does whatever he does. I forget what happened. He's like, the victor writes the history books, and then he shoots you or something. I don't remember.
Oh my
God, it's been a while.
That's
but
funny.
It's a very true thing because if you win, you can go and say, oh, these either way, the world would be totally different because. I mean, nowadays we do that a little bit differently, but that's because the left is winning, And then they can reinterpret the past too. So whoever's currently winning will, determine what history views it as.
Yeah.
Because they look at discovering America for the Europeans. For the longest time that was a good thing. Nowadays it's like, oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's racist.
Yeah, if you really don't like America that much, move to another country, move back to Europe.
Yeah.
If you hate America so much.
Yeah, move to Sweden.
I mean, yeah, what happened in the past, there's a lot of things done, that were wrong and whatnot, but, people,
we've evolved.
They kind of had to do what they did. And I'm thankful that we have America as a country right now, even though there was some bad times.
Yeah. It's better than most countries. And like I was telling people, I might change my mind table or a person that came up. Imagine though, in those times, if we had hate speech, if we didn't have the First Amendment and let's say the Jim Crow era, it would be hate speech to criticize white people. This is why it's so great.
Figured out if they did back then, though. I mean, there's a difference between de facto and de jure.
Well, my point is that it's one of the reasons this country is so great is because we were built on principles that have survived through all of this and have created such a great country and have evolved the country. You know, we've had some bad things, but we were built on some great things that, you know, lasted for hundreds of years now, and hopefully will continue to last. They are, you know, timeless. Race guard rights. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week with more real news.